gente? It's your girl, Nina Montañez.
Hey, yo, what it do? It's your boy, Rue, and I'm coming for you. And this is...
Sofrito Speaks.
You know when the little TikToks of the machines, with the machine noises, they're like... We're back. We are back.
Yo.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hi.
Hi, y'all.
What is really good, mi
Buenos
gente?
días, damas y caballeros.
We are back for season number 7. I got that right? It's 7?
7.
Oh, but 7. It's been a minute. We had to come in here clean, get the cobwebs off of all the equipment.
El cuarto estaba dusty.
You know, it was a little rusty. Had to add some oil into the hinges.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna add the sound.
But what is really good, mi gente? We took the summer off. I'm hyped to be back. I actually haven't seen Ruben since our little PR trip or whatever.
We went to PR.
We did. We went on a little vacación juntos.
It was a vibe.
It was a good time.
We jumped off.
Never debriefed.
Yeah, we jumped
never
off.
debriefed that trip.
I still remember us just jumping off that.
Crash Boat Beach
a million times. We
had way too much fun.
A million times.
I'm thinking, we're almost done. We're gonna head out. I need to take a nap if I want to go out tonight. Ruben was like, another time. So it was like, I felt like I was following. I was like a little sister following.
It
her
felt
big
like
brother.
when when the little kids link up, they're like, let's go jump off again.
Yes, we were two little kids in Puerto Rico. It was the best. We swam through the coral reef. This is a long intro.
Oh wait.
You know what? He was drunk for most of the trip. But anyways, so with that being said, mi gente, I'm going to walk us into El Chisme, which is the part of the show where we're gonna let you know all the tea, all the ooey gooey fun stuff, as Ruben would say, and let you know like what had us fucked up or jodido.
Period.
The last 2 months since we've been on hiatus. So, you want to start?
I was about to say, does El Chisme have a jingle? It doesn't. All right. This past summer, let me catch y'all up. So we went on the PR trip. We had an amazing time. We did swim the coral reef. We met those ladies like
from Barcelona.
I know. It was a vibe. It was a vibe.
Was.
Like
this is the first time we had been on like a trip together longer than like a day. Like we've done like New York for a day and some change. But we were like, wow, when we was like popping like early on in our podcast career, we would take like little business trips to New York because we were hopping on other people's projects.
We had to
we would literally leave like 5 a.m., get there, do what we had to do, go to the event at night, and then the next morning we were only there for 24 hours.
That's when hotel prices were like $97, $125.
Because he works for one, so he got a discount.
Period.
But anyways, this was our first trip together, and he invited his best friend. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. Ruben was like, is it just me and you, or can I invite? I was like, yeah, like, sure, whatever. Which, like, no bullshit, mi gente. This trip made me realize, like, I have a genuine love and appreciation for, like, how Ruben operates as a person. And I don't think you guys understand. We literally practice what we preach on this podcast. Like, it brings me back to respect my no. And I was talking about this the other day. And the episode that we had where I was like, yo, respect my no. If I say no, it's no. I don't need you to try and convince me. I don't need you to anything. So there were nights where we were going to get ready to go out. And I had the energy at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, we going out tonight. La Placita is lit.
No, that was like literally every morning.
Every morning. I'm like, yo, we're going out tonight. I'm hyped. And I told, Rue, we got to be back at the house by like 6. Let me get in like a 3-4 hour nap. Because we're not leaving the house till like close to midnight. So let me get in a nap. We weren't getting back till like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. So I had like a 2.5 hour nap. What I love that Ruben would he would knock on my door. I'd like wake up from my nap, my alarm would go off.
Nina.
Yeah, he'd be like, yes or no. No. Okay, have a good night. I'll see you in the morning. And he would just walk right out. It wasn't like, nah, girl, get up. Because I would have just been heated. Like,
but it's also like the reality is like even here you don't party like that. You're not out in the scene. You're not.
I don't.
So it's like I wasn't expecting that, and that's why I was just like, all right, cool, like. Yes or no? I'm the type of person that like.
He's gonna push through.
Yo, I was twitching. It was like, I'm like, don't wait for the clue.
He will literally be falling asleep and be like, "No, we go." I said we're going out. We're going out.
And even there was a few nights that I was just like, I don't know. I don't want to go.
But the gag is, they would get home dumb late. We was still up. I was bright-eyed and bushy till the next day. He was already up cleaning the cocina. He already had breakfast.
I run my life on little to no sleep. I know it's horrible, but I get 6 hours at least. But I'm just so used to just like
you wanna
getting up and
daylight.
going.
You feel me?
Getting up and going. And plus, we were in Puerto Rico. Like I was like, I ain't got no time to sleep, baby. What I gotta do is see my people, connect with my people.
Where did we?
We went to Crash Boat Beach. We went to.
So this is what happened though. So he wants to go to the Rio. Okay, that's
Cañones
cute.
Blanco.
We get there, and I guess because of the hurricane.
The hurricane fucked it.
Messed it all up. So like the water level was super low.
But you want to know something? I actually just watched this YouTuber. Shout out to Lau. She went to Cañones Blanco, and I didn't know. I knew it was longer than what we saw. I didn't know that was just the starting point, and that you can hike more down, and there'd be like big ponds of clear water. So it was like once we got there, and then for me, what was the kicker was the guy was like, "You see the gray clouds? You guys can go in this water. You see the gray clouds." Once you feel a drop, get the fuck out the water.
Yeah, he literally was like,
when you feel the drop, it's already been raining up there at the top of the mountain. And I guarantee you, it is right behind that drop. And I'm like, all right, we're good. We're good. But we went right away to Crash Boat Beach.
Yeah.
Had a blast.
Listen.
We went to a few beaches that I've never been to before either. We went to the one in San Juan.
Yes.
We went to...
We did a lot.
Yeah.
We did a lot. It
was a good trip.
4 or 5 days,
It was jam-packed.
But like in a way where it didn't feel like...
Let's go.
I didn't feel like I was clocking into my vacation. Like I'm clocking out of work to clock into vacation. Like I genuinely don't like to feel like I need to be doing like all these things all the time. It was like I think it was because it was like a 9 a.m. start time. Like it was like when everybody gets up, then the day starts. It wasn't like, yo, you gotta be up at this time. If not, I'm out. Like
because the truth is, while Nina was sleeping in the morning, like sometimes I would take my car.
Yeah.
I took the not my car, the rental. I wish it was my car. The rental one of the mornings, and I drove down to the beach, and I sat there, smoked my little cigarette, had my little coffee, and was just like.
And that's what he needed, and I was.
This is what I needed at 6 a.m.
That's it, and like, but it worked. By the time he got back, he got his alone time. He was able to zen. And I was able to sleep, got up, got dressed, and then we were out the door. All right, where are we going today? Luquillo was lit. That was probably my favorite spot.
Yeah.
Because them drinks, baby, them drinks.
Can I tell you that we were swimming in the coral reef drunk?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Pero with this like braveness.
When I tell the boat, Nat Geo hit us up.
Jumping off the coral reef into deep, like 30-foot, 40.
Swimming down. Can we touch the bottom? Like nothing's gonna pop up.
Did do that.
Like nothing's gonna jump out at us.
Like there wasn't a shark around the corner. Like
pull up.
Yeah.
Pull up, Bruce. Pull up. You know what I mean?
And I love the ocean. If you see my Instagram story, you know I love the ocean. But I was not scared. I just was like, I'm at peace. And then I found out after that there's sea urchins there, and that when we went on the boat, and they were like, if you see, we went scuba diving.
We did a lot. Wow.
We went scuba diving.
Listen, we was on a boat or whatever. It was lit. We got it. What was it? It was like it wasn't expensive.
It was like $125 a person.
He was like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like,
"It was an excursion,
yes. And then that was the one time we were like, "Oh, we're doing an excursion. We don't want to drive, whatever." We just drove to the spot, parked the car, jumped.
Airbnb experience. I'll put the link in the bio.
Yes, it was. It was such a good time. However. Yeah, no.
Remember when we drove off and the people were at the restaurant and I was like, look at the poor people.
I can't stand it. It was like we got on the boat. It was like how many heads? Like 25?
Yeah, it was a big
25
group.
heads or whatever. We're like at the front of the boat. Big.
The only thing that like
Farajado, right? That we.
That's where we left from.
Yeah,
we left from there. Yeah, to Cayocos Island, I think is what it's called.
So it's like a little island off of it or whatever. And we get there. Music was fire. They were making drinks. They had like little sandwiches, like snacks for us. But I was still starving. We get there and they gave us all of our gear. And they were like, all right.
Yeah.
Ruben didn't wait a second.
Yeah, I was the first one off. I was the first one off, wasn't I? To go scuba?
The way the ocean calls Moana, Puerto Rico waters was calling Ruben. I don't think y'all understand.
I was like swimming next to fish that I was like, I don't even care if you kill me. I want to touch you.
Literally, like, and they were just like, don't touch the sea urchins, and
I swam.
You really couldn't go deep enough because we didn't have like full scuba gear. It was just like the little goggles, the thing. So you had to stay where you could.
But breathe. I loved that because I've never used the like air tube.
Oh, we were just like little guppies.
Yeah, and like the what is it called? The stuff that goes on your feet. Yeah. Flippers. That makes you go super fast, and I was just like scanning the ocean floor, like, come on, give me something, give me something. I saw a really cute fish. Man, it was a vibe. It was a vibe.
And but we got as we were getting there, we were like, damn, is it too late to cancel? Because we were so exhausted.
It's true. We chose that for the last day too.
Yeah, we were like, why would we do this for the last day? And we were like, oh, because that was the only like opening they had left. That's why we chose it. But once we did it, we were like, oh, we almost canceled.
Right. The only thing I didn't like is that I actually followed the rules and didn't bring a bottle in my backpack, forgetting that I'm in Puerto Rico and they don't check that shit. So because the other groups, that's why they were so turned. They had bottles in their backpacks, and I was like, fuck my life, because you know I love good dranky, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
But other than that, the rest of the summer I came back immediate depression. No, I mean I've had a really good summer. I got to do a little bit here, a little bit there. I went to Canopy Lake Park, first time in a very long time. I think
I saw that.
First time in like 17 years that I've been to Canopy Lake Park. I went to New York for Pride, and New York for Pride wore me the fuck out like a rag doll. Like, listen, when I tell you that I had to find it in my soul, because yet again, and this has been a reoccurring theme in my summer, and I think it's why I'm socially drained from like a lot of people, is like, I feel like in my circles, I'm constantly the leader.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
And it's like, no matter where I go, I'm the one that people look to, like, well, what do you want to do? What should we do? And I'm just like, so you didn't have a plan. Because when I go somewhere, I'm going to have a plan. Because in the event that you have a plan and it sucks, which most likely it does, I'm going to go with my plan.
And this is why his friends don't plan shit. This is why they don't plan.
But it would be nice if people like, and not only that, when you plan something, like, think about everything all the way through. Don't just tell me we're going somewhere, not explaining how we're going to get there, how long it's going to take, how much is going to be to get, like, when you plan something, you have those details for people. Like, so I don't know. We went to New York. It wore me out. Did a lot of walking, did a lot of Pride partying, which, you know, I'm not that crazy about Pride. I went to the parade and I got there and I was like, so do you guys want to leave? Because I was like, what is this? What is going on right here? And so we left because I had the plan. And yeah.
As they were at the parade, Ruben was making the plans.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is way too many people for me.
All right, so 2 blocks down from here, there's a restaurant. And it's happy hour. So if we go now, we can get a picture for $10. Let's go.
Pretty much. But Pride in Hell's Kitchen, wow. I mean, I saw some characters that I was just like, baby, I thought I was gay, honey. Ooh, honey. Other than that, I got to do a few interviews with Heavy Rotation, my new little interview feature. And I started.
That's so fun. Like, if you're not following that, make sure you are.
It's just, so you know, a little side gig so I don't lose my touch or whatever. But a Heavy Rotation playlist on Spotify for people who like to listen to new music. It's my own little spin on it. And now I'm into the YouTube game, and I've just been studying YouTube videos. I did a YouTube review.
Algo light.
And I'm going to continue doing a little bit more of that. I got a little camera that was gifted to me, so I'm going to be vlogging and just like, I have a lot of clips right now. But other than that, I've just been trying to stay busy. What about you?
Let's see. Since we got back from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Qué bonita bandera. Qué bonita bandera. Yo, the only thing we're going to do is break out in the song. I'm trying to think. Work was chill. I ain't gonna hold you. I've been battling a raise at the moment.
Oh wow, that's still going on.
That I actually had to give a break to. So for my own sanity, I had to give it a break. I had to give the fight a break because I don't feel like I need to go this hard to prove my worth when I've already done that.
Right.
Like now I feel like you're trying to get me to jump through hoops, and baby, this ain't a circus. I am not an act. I'm a person with bills that need to be paid. And so I find out that everybody got a raise, right?
Except.
And it essentially, no, I got it.
Okay.
Essentially, I think maybe earlier in this in season 6 when I talked about returning to a job. Before I took the offer, they had lowballed me. They only gave me, when I left I was making a certain amount, and then when I came back they only like gave me $500 more than what I was making when I left. Now granted, it'd be one thing if I was like demoted when I left. No, I stayed in managerial position, so I only gained more knowledge, so I'm only more profitable. Like, what are we talking about? They lowballed me, whatever. By the grace of God, I said, you know what? I don't like this current situation I'm in right now. I already know this job. I can jump right in. It's more than I'm already making. It's a no-brainer. This is what we're doing. Said I was going to keep my mouth shut for my little 90 days. Do what I got to do. Let the numbers speak for itself. Not me speak for me. I'm going to let my work speak for itself. And numbers went up. Revenue goes up. And I'm like, okay, I have a leg to stand on. I can now present this information, and I can show you, these numbers, since I've been back, these numbers have gone up. We need to talk money. To which my supervisor had said, she went beyond what I was even initially like planning on. I said one number, she said, she went above that. And I said, oh, bet. We meet in the middle, if anything. I don't hear anything for a month and a half. I bring it back up. I get, oh, so-and-so from this department didn't reach out to you? No. Man, we both hire people. We both know what it is to give pay increases. I would have to sign something because it would be a new offer letter. I didn't sign anything. Did you draw something up that I didn't sign? No. Okay, then who did I talk to? Can we not pass the blame off and just be like, yo, I fumbled your bag. I fumbled your bag. That's what I need you to say. I fumbled your bag. Says that she's going to get back to me. Okay. Now I'm pressing her. A week goes by. Hey, just want to circle back to this initial conversation. Lo and behold, this person's out of the office. They're on vacation. This person's on vacation. So now I'm playing the waiting game for real. Okay, está bien. We get on a call with our CEO, whatever. He's like, oh, after 3 years of research, 3 years of research, we are gonna bump everyone up to market value after researching like these are like positions. Directors are gonna be going up. It's not really an increase for me. It's what I should have been making when I got into this place. When I talked to you back in March after my 90-day probation period, that was when I should have made that money. This little raise that you giving us now should be on top of what already went into effect 6-7 months ago. You feel me? Then I find out, okay, I'm like, oh, so all the directors are gonna be making the same. How am I making the same as somebody with no managerial experience? When I tell you I almost had aneurysm. How are you gonna tell me that my department brings in X amount of revenue, so therefore it carries the most weight? I'm doing this by myself. And un chamaquito that comes off the street and gets a director title is gonna make the same money I'm making? Yo, make that make sense, Make that make sense. And then it irked me because they're promoting people within, and I'm gonna be making the same as them, but they don't have the experience that I have. And then on top of that, so I said, hold up. You said y'all been conducting this research for 3 years. I was rehired in October, which means the research had already taken place. Okay? Follow along, people. The research already took place. And you want to be a more equitable, you want to be a career of choice. And you thought that this number that you gave me originally was sufficient enough, and then thought that in 7, 8, 9 months, you were going to say, hey guys, we're going to bump you up. You already had this information in your hand, because these are the goals that you want to hit. And you decided to drop the ball when it came to my onboarding because of whatever preconceived notions or animosity you feel towards me. Okay, luckily for y'all, I operate in a different light. And then I don't have the same energy that I had 4 or 5 years ago when I left. So I humbled myself. But now I'm like, but I'm not a pendeja either. So we're gonna talk, but I needed to settle because like is getting a rise out of me.
It's giving you heartburn.
You feel me? Like it's pissing me off because I can't even sit in a room with my peers and look at these people and know that they don't do half the work that I do, and I'm sitting there like, how are we clearing the same check? That bothers me. And then I'm the only person of color.
Oh.
We love that. We love that. At my level, I'm one of the only people of color. There's 2 of us at my level. And I'm the one that's getting lowballed. Okay, cool. But tell me how you don't have feelings towards me. Then I find out I'm topic of conversation in administration. Why? Because Nina doesn't do anything outside of her job description. What are you talking about? Because I don't want to go play cornhole with you guys after work. If you want me to show up to something after work, guess what I'm doing? I'm still clocked in. I'm leaving work 2 hours early, and I will be at this set event. You're not getting me past my time. No, because you're like, it's not even worth it. Like, it's not like
we are not friends.
We're not friends. I promise you, we're not.
We are not friends.
If it's an organizational thing, I get bullied into going to these things. No, I don't feel like I need to be there. Yeah, but no, like you have to go because the perception is this. I never cared about what people thought about me. I know, I never have.
This is a big thing why a lot of jobs are not able to withhold employees anymore, because it's like
not.
You are requiring so much that is not needed. Like, what is this? And you know what it is? What it really is that a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't have no friends. So when you go to a job, you think that those are your friends. Baby, we're not friends, okay? We work together. We clock in this shit. My friends don't clock in and clock out. My friends are there all the time. Mm-hmm. You not that.
You're just not that. So that's the thing. That was a thing. That's the thing I was battling this summer, and I kind of had to let it rest. What else?
Nina got baptized. I
got baptized. I did. I got baptized. I took the plunge. I got dunked. And it's been a battle ever since. It's been a battle ever since. I thought that I had like a grace period. I thought that like it was gonna be like algo cute, algo like like I'm gonna get some time to adjust, to this next level of my faith. No, the devil said, yeah, okay, bing, bing, bing. I've been taking hits left and right, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat that. Y'all remember that episode of Martin where he got beat up and he was like, oh, that's what I look like in the spirit right now. Like,
God damn it.
I'm struggling. But we survived. By the grace of God, we surviving. That was an experience. That was really dope. What else? Oh, I don't. If it's the summertime, people start to circle back and they resurface. When did we end? We ended before.
We ended in May. Yeah. Well, actually, we ended in April, and then we just did Sofrito revisits.
That's right. So, guys, I went to whole Europe. I don't think about my trip to Europe.
That's right.
So for my 30th, I always said, so when I turned 25, I was like, yo, I want to go to Europe for my 30th. I want to go to Europe for my 30th. I don't care if I'm going with a group. I don't care if I go by myself. At this point, I'll go by myself. That's exactly what your girl did. I went by myself. And I made friends. It was a good time. I went to London, Paris, and Barcelona. Paris was just like in the way of me getting to Barcelona. Barcelona was the goal. London was, I enjoyed it. I still don't understand. If we got any of you UK watchers, how did y'all pillage the world for the world's spices? And y'all didn't use not one in any of your meals. Fish and chips is not it. Fried cod and papitas, fries, is not it. For everything, that's what it is. Dime. I don't understand. I was over here dousing things in ketchup. I don't even use ketchup when I'm here. What? Yeah, the food wasn't like up. I ate, but the food wasn't up. Get to Paris. I never had like aspirations or like dreams to be in Paris. It's ghetto. But it was giving Parisian New York City. Like, and there's a lot of blasphemy happening about Paris, because they call it Paris Syndrome or something like that. Like, you play it up in your mind, like Paris is this beautiful city, whatever. And it's like, okay, if you have money, then Paris is that.
Comment down below if you've ever been to Hollywood, California, because this is exactly what Hollywood, California is. I was expecting the most luxurious girl.
Because like you know how much we love Adrienne Houghton. We love her. She loved Paris. Her lens.
Her Paris is not your Paris.
You feel me? Like your favorite celebrity's Paris is not your Paris unless you got Paris funds. You feel me? So, just like casual walking. When I travel, I just like to walk around. I'm not like, I don't go to, like, I'm not doing this museum. Like, I'm just not. For me, Paris wasn't it for me. If I never return again, I will be fine. No diss to it. It just wasn't, it didn't do anything for me. I had a good time in London. Paris, baby. We see this club on TikTok and we're like, oh, we're in Paris. Let's go to this club. We go to this club. It's like five floors. We're thinking each floor had a different
it was the same music each floor?
Genre. We're thinking it had a different genre. Yo, it's literally like a square with a hole cut out in the middle, and it's the same music going up. That's it. You just going. It was just quicker. If I was on the first floor and I wanted a drink and it was too packed, I just went up to the second floor. Oh, it's a little packed on the second floor. Baby, I'm going to the third floor. Like, that's just what was happening. And I go get my little drink and I'll just like look over the balcony, vibe out, and go downstairs. I almost get into a fight with a Frenchman. Y'all seen the movie Taken? You know the premise of the movie Taken? I cannot make this up. Yo, God is my witness. We get to this club, whatever. I become like mama bear, big sister type when I'm out with other people. Made friends, whatever. My roommate is dope. Shout out to my roommate. We made 2 more friends. Cool. We had a nice little 4 group of people. That's who we was leaving with. That's who we was going back to the crib with. Like, that's how it worked for us. And it just like naturally, organically happened that way. We're actually really good friends post the trip. I've visited them since. I'm going to be seeing them again soon. So we get there, we're having a good time. We make our little circle because we don't speak the language. So we not really vibing with the French people because we don't speak the language, which is totally fine. I'm sure people who travel deal with that all the time, tourists. We just vibing. We have a little drink voucher. So it was kind of cool though, like with your $20 that you pay to get in, or 20 euros you pay to get in, you got a drink voucher. And I'm like, okay, cool. I technically still paid for this drink, but whatever.
Right.
Go in, whatever, get my drink. Cool. We're having a good time. As we're vibing, it's if you want me to stay. I was hype. I was like, what? So I'm dumb hype. Now we like vibing out. My friends are recording me. We're having a good time. I feel someone is on me, and I was like, hold up. If these 3 mofos are in front of me that I came with, who's behind me? Like, who's on me? So I turn and I look. Bajo de mierda that they came out of this man's mouth. This random guy. And I was like, oh. So I just like pushed him off me, and he was like grabbing me tighter, and I was like, no. Like, I stiff armed him and got him off me. And he was like, hey. And then like 4 dudes. Yo, when I tell you, from the depths of hell came out of nowhere into like our group and like infiltrated. We were like, nah. Like, we were like, absolutely not. So we like tightened our circle. Another group that we were cool with shows up to the club after. So we're all hanging out. We make a little bigger. So there's like 8 of us now. We make a bigger circle. We're just, it's just us. If you wanted to dance, you was going to go right in the circle, and we was going to keep you safe. You good. This man tries to go to the next girl. And then I realized my fun stops because now I'm on high alert. So I'm like, all right. So I'm so like, this is me. I live right here. We ain't doing nothing extra after that because I'm like, nope, I got to watch
You're on surveillance.
This guy. Now I'm on surveillance. I'm on watch. I'm watching this man go to the drunkest women.
Oh.
And he's like mad, like hugging them mad tight. Like they're playing it off like it's a party. Hey,
we're friends, yeah.
We cool. And there's one girl, like I saw her face, like she looked like, yo, help me. And I was like, sis, I don't speak the language. Yikes. So what I did, I just went over and I grabbed her by her arm and I just like wiggled my way through. And I was like, oh, like, come dance with us. I don't know if she knew what I was saying, but I took her to our group, and then the whole group, without even speaking it to the group, we were all so in sync. They knew exactly what I just did. That. So then we were all just like dancing with her, whatever.
That happened to me in Boston.
Got her away. So then we were like, all right, cool. We want to go get another drink. We go walk upstairs. I'm on high alert. I'm like, my drink limit was 3. We're done. Now I'm just watching everything happen. So we're at second level. We're looking down. We're watching these guys grab women.
Oh my God.
And me and this one girl I was with, we looked at each other and I was like, we gonna get her? And they were like, yeah. So we go downstairs. We go up to this girl. We're like, yo, are you okay? Like, do you know him? Like, y'all, like, mind you, again, we don't speak French. I only speak Spanish and English. So, like, it's not gonna get me far in Paris. And the girl was like, no. So the guy's getting tight because now he's realizing this is the second time we've interrupted him. Now he's realizing, oh, they're on to us. Cool. So he starts acting up. He starts going off. I don't know. He was probably cussing me out. I could see it in his face. He's going, like yelling at me, whatever. One of my boys steps in and he like pushed me to the side and I was like, I got this. Back up. He's going back and forth. Now this guy's boy steps in front of him. And he's like, no. And I was like, nah. And I'm going off. I'm like, F this, F that, what, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm wilding out. And then he makes a gesture like he was going to hit me. So I got hype. I said, yeah. So I was like, yo.
He don't know you lived.
Yo, I literally was like this. I was like, do it. And I'm like hitting myself, like, do it.
Damn,
and,
Nina.
I was doing the most. Now looking back, that probably wasn't the safest thing.
She said, uh-oh.
But anyways, so I was like, whatever. So like, we're going at it, and then he tries to lunge at me, and then I'm about to lunge at him. So then they both take us apart. And I was like, you know what, whatever, go get security. One of the girls I was with, she goes and talks to security, tells security what's happening. We get this man kicked out. We forgot he had goons with him. So he leaves, and I said, hold up, I still see his boys. He's the only one that got kicked out. So I tell the group, I was like, yo, his boys are still here. We need to be careful now. Because if we leave here, we're not from here. So we just have to be on high alert. I stopped drinking altogether. We're done for the night. Mind you, it was only like 1 a.m. This club was open till 4. I got my 20 euros worth for sure. We had a good time after that, but and then we actually ended up, there was another drunk girl. Her name was Leo. And she understood English, but she didn't speak it very well. And they cornered her at a bar. Like, they literally, the guys that were left cornered her at a bar. She was wasted. She was wasted. So we walked over to her and we were like, are you okay? And she was like, no. So I grabbed her. The other girl I was with, we both grabbed her. She comes with us to the group. She stayed with us the rest of the night. We got her Uber. We put her in her Uber. We were like, all right, have a good night, whatever. But it was like, yo, and I was just like, yo, this really happens, fam. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. One of my friends got roofied in Barcelona.
Oh wow.
The one time they didn't go out with us, he went out with a different group. He got roofied.
He got roofied?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
And
was he
yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think he was at a gay club. He was just at a club.
Oh wow.
But I was upset because
Sounds like my kind of vibe.
He went with the group. Shut up. He went with the group that we partied together on the trip, but we were always our little quad.
Yeah.
We were all tired. We hang back. He goes. We're going to the Sagrada Familia. I'm living my cheater girl fantasy. And I'm like, yo, so-and-so was supposed to be on this trip. Where is he? And they were like, oh, yo, he was like super drunk last night. And I was like, that doesn't even sound like him. He hasn't been drunk the entire time we've been together. That doesn't sound, I automatically knew something was wrong. And they were like, oh, nah, like he got wasted. I was like, no. I'm telling you, he has not been that messed up. He hasn't been messed up at all when he parties with us. So
why now? Like, why all of a sudden?
You feel me? So like I knew. So then I pulled my roommate to. I was like, yo, come here real quick. I was like, yo, did you know this Yvonne like was messed up last night? And she was like, no, what the hell? Like, he hasn't been messed up the whole trip. And I said, thank you, that's what I said. Then we get a text in the group chat immediately after we put 2 and 2 together. And he was like, yo, I think I got rubies last night. And we're all like, in this little gift shop, like, and we're all like, yo, what? And then like we meet up with him after, and he tells us, he was like, yo, like, I remember being here, and that was it. Like, that was the last thing he remembered. Luckily he had half a mind to call one of his friends back home, so they were on the phone with him the whole time or whatever. Thank God nothing happened to him, but it was just the fact that, like, you really got to be careful who you go out with. Like, you can't party with everybody.
Yeah,
you really can't party
and
with
even
everybody.
if you do, like, you really have to watch your drink. Like, I'm super, when I go out, even here, like I remember back in February, I went to like a Vogue night in Boston, and there was a girl that there was these like 3 or 4 guys, and they were not American, and they were up in there like, and you can tell because it was an all black crowd, baby.
Yeah.
It was a Vogue night. It was all Voguers, all black, all gay, and there was these 4 straight guys, and they were cornering this girl at the bar, and I was ordering a drink, and I was watching this go down, and I'm like, okay, and then immediately I was drunk, and I'm like, I'm gonna intercept because they're not gonna do nothing to me. So I went up to her and I'm like, hey girl, and I gave her a hug, and when I gave her a hug, I whispered in her ear and I was like, yo, you okay? You know these people? And she said in my ear, she's like, no, I don't know them. And I'm like, okay, follow my direction. So I'm like, how you been? I haven't seen you in such a long time. Oh my God. And the guys were like, yo, we were talking to her, and I'm like, she's talking to me now. I'm her friend. You're not her friend.
I love that.
And then like I called security, and I was like, because they started getting loud with me, and I just stood there. I have a video on one of my drives. I just stood there with my phone, and I'm like, so who's your friend? You know this guy? And they kicked him out. But this does happen all the time. When you go out to these clubs, you need to be very vigilant of what's going on. I tell my friends all the time, when you put your drinks down,
kiss that drink goodbye.
no, put your drink, like, I'll put my drink down, but I'm here with my drink. It is just here. But I'm dancing. I'm facing my drink. Like, yeah. Anybody walking, anybody walking by my drink, I'm just like, and I get like, my friends are like, you need a. I'm like, honey, no. Like,
you know that they make, so if it's
a condom, a cup condom.
It's a cup condom. So a couple of the girls we were on the trip with had those, and I was like, yo, I need that. But then I'm like, Nina, you don't be out like that anyway. So shut
it's
up.
still such a good.
But if it's a beer, my hand.
Hold your drink like this.
Or like this. So
this is how I hold my drink.
That's why my boy was confused, because that's how he was holding his drink.
But this is the thing.
The bartender could be in cahoots with whoever's floating around.
Yes.
When I tell you, everywhere we went, our hands were on our drinks like this, and when my drink was like this.
Yep.
If you want me to stay, my drink was my microphone.
And you gotta just like learn little things, like if it fuzzes, if you see fit, like there's just certain cues that you're just like, I'll taste the drink, and I'm like, honey, I know my Patron. You can mix it with whatever, but she will know her Patron. And I'm like, take it back. I go to my same bartender in Boston. Like, I don't play those games. I don't play those games. No.
So that happened. Barcelona was lit. I had a really good time in Barcelona. So let's get into the other tea. So I don't think I've spoke to you about this person off camera during the catch up. So I had somebody had resurfaced. And because you know how they love to resurface, like, oh, she's about to forget about me. How you doing? Hey. And so this person resurfaces, cool. We start chit chatting. Now, in the back of my mind, I would be lying to y'all if I said that I wasn't like hopeful. I was, and chit chatting, whatever, what have you, and something was off. And at one point, he had said something like, oh, yo, can you text me before you call me? I looked at him, I said, since when did I have to text you before I called you? Who is she? What's her name?
Who is she to you?
Yeah.
Who is she
to
you?
What's her name? Because, I promise you, my whole cadence, everything, he's not, okay. So I was like, I literally looked at this man. I was on FaceTime with him, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I've never had to do that before. I'm not about to start. What are you hiding? He starts laughing, whatever. I'm like, cool, left it at that. He calls me on my birthday. So of course, it's birthday season. So we're chit-chatting, whatever. And he was telling me that he was going to be going on a trip for his birthday. And I was like, oh, cool, like, where you going? Blah, blah, blah. Because he's, like, not a big traveler. And said he was, like, going wherever. And I was like, oh, you going with the boys? Or you going on a vacation? I don't know what possessed me to say that. I guess my gut was telling me something. I was like, oh, you going on vacation? He was like, you stupid, stop being funny. And I was like, no, I'm being dead serious. You going with your boys? You going on vacation? What's up? Who is she? Like, and I kept like pressing it, and he like kept dubbing it. I'm like, cool, that's another pass. We're going back and forth. He starts bringing up like the past, like we have history, and we're like laughing about it, reminiscing on it, whatever. Then I realize, oh, he's like heavily flirting with me. So in my mind, I'm like, when we were together, I was an idiot. You didn't ever give me like F-boy vibes or whatever. So like, I'm just thinking like, oh, he's being like, whatever. So why are you bringing up past things and talking about things or whatever? if you got a girl. So I'm like, I'm not putting two and two. Like, I'm just like, there's no way, because you weren't like that with me, because you're a homebody. Like, you don't do this, you don't do, like, I know you. I don't know if he stepped into his F-boy season, and he thinks he's gonna try and play me, baby. I'm not the one or the two. So, okay, we're going back and forth, whatever. I'm not gonna hold you, I'm being a little freca. Cool. And so with that, this was post me being dunked. Okay. But anyways, so whatever. And at one point he had told me that he was doing something. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go out to take a nap. In my nap, I have a dream. And I've never been that girl. Like, oh, I dreamt that you was being out here. Ever. This is the first time it's ever happened. And I wake up and I got really sad. And I was like, ew, why do I, like, I feel gross. Like, why do I feel so gross? And I've never been a snooper. I've never been like, I did it one time, and that was the only time that I needed to do it. Granted, I'm still overseas. I'm in Barcelona at this point. And I'm in my hotel room. And I was like, no, check his account. Check his IG. What? Cool. Check the IG, and I'm like, hold up. He had a story before I went to bed. Now, I don't be watching his stories. I just see the little red ring around it. And I was like, he had a story like today. Where'd it go? Switch accounts. Check to see if he has a story now. I switch the account. I can't see that he has a story. I switch accounts. I see that he has a story. So I'm like, oh, he blocked me from his story. Okay, we're being childish. So I said, hold on, no, we're not. There's something that he reposted he doesn't want you to see. Watch the story. He reposted what his shorty posted of the two of them with her family. So I said, oh. Okay, my intuition was right. Awesome. Stop talking to him completely. Because one thing, you're not about to make me a side bitch. Baby, you not. I am main character energy. We're not doing this. In my big old age, we not doing this. So whatever, let a couple months pass. I had sent him a birthday card, whatever, like, you know, happy whatever birthday, blah, 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 blah. I never hear anything back. And I'm like, that's weird.
That's suspicious.
That's suspicious. Like, not even like a thank you, nothing. A month goes by. Now we're in July. I'm driving back from Ohio. I just visited my friends from Europe. And so, to be clear, when I say my friends from Europe, I met these people in Europe. They're very much American and live here. So I say, like, oh, my friends are from Europe. I met them there on that trip. So one flew up from Georgia. I drove to Ohio to go meet up. This is our central location. We go meet up, whatever. I'm driving back. I get a text from this person. And I'm driving, and I'm like, what the heck? So I open it, and he sends me a picture of the birthday card. And I was like, oh, cool. And I'm sitting there like, you did not just get this card. Like, right. You didn't just 2 months. I know post-COVID things been a little slow. But ain't no way our mail system is that slow. Like, there's no way. You're not that far from me. So, okay. So I hit him back. I said, there's no way you're just getting that now. Oh, you know, I don't really open my mail because it's mostly like, gives me a BS excuse or whatever. And I'm like, so you're sitting in your car holding your mail. You didn't check your mailbox for 2 months? Or you wanted to open the card in your car without anyone around? Like I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you just checked your mailbox? Like, none of your roommates checked the mailbox? Like, nobody just left? Wow. What? Anyways, and not only that, it was in a bright orange envelope. What? Like, you thought that was Capital One was sending you a credit card? Dime. Anyways.
Final notice.
Eviction notice. Or you got a ticket? Dime. So, okay, whatever. So we're going back and forth. We're chit-chatting, going back, whatever. And then he like gets like super serious. I know his cadence. So I'm like, okay, like, obviously you don't want to have a conversation, whatever. So the conversation goes into the next day because like we're taking mad long in between. I was just busy, so I'm like, whatever. I don't like, I'm not jumping to talk to you because like I didn't forget. I don't have amnesia. I remember how I felt 2 months ago. Like, we're not playing this game. We're going back and forth. And I had never actually told him like how he makes me feel, like how this angry this made me or whatever. So I was like, you know what? It's now or never, bitch. Like, we need to say what we need to say, ja. Like, we're getting this all out in the open. So I called him out on it. And he was like, oh, I just thought that the fun had ended. And I was like, no, you just stopped responding to me. So like at first I was like, I low-key baited him. I was like, yeah, no, I just figured you stopped responding, so you just had other things to do. He was like, no, I thought this and this. Now he's like trying to get me to like be back in on my little frecura shit or whatever. So I was like, I'm at work and I'm laughing. I'm literally looking at my phone, I'm cracking up because I'm like, yo, baby boy, you're not ready. I'm like, okay. So I've seen like podcasts with like males that are like, yo, the long paragraphs, yo, they don't mean anything. Yo, he don't care. Like he doesn't care. If he's not gonna take accountability, he don't waste your time. And it wasn't. And then and that played through my head, and I was like, honestly, this isn't even for him. This is for me now. Like I just need to say what I have to say, and if you read it or not, if you take accountability or not, I can finally let it go because I told you, and I don't have to live with, you know, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I didn't. No, but I did. So we're going into the conversation, whatever, and he want to send me a cute, funky little picture in Snapchat because, you know, they disappear or whatever. And I said, first of all, if you gonna send me some shit, don't send me mediocre shit. Don't do that. Don't do that, because what? This is what you got in your camera roll, and you just thought you were gonna send me a secondhand, baby. You forget that I know you. Like, what are we talking about? So I was like, yeah, nobody asked for all that. I'm all set. He's like, oh, let me rectify the situation. How am I? By sending me a... Boy, bye. Boy, I cannot. Boy, I cannot. Anyways, so I ignore it, whatever, and like I'm going back, like I just told him, I was like, yo, this is how you make me feel, like this, I don't, like this is whatever, I'm not this person. Called him out, and I was like, you're blocking me from your story to repost things, don't act like I don't know. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and not thinking you're a dumbass, but you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. Like, what are we talking about? You're a dumbass. You feel me? Like, come on, my boy, be smart.
You're a dumbass who's doing mas.
Yeah, like the literal most. Like, you don't have to lie to me. So then I set it up, and then when he like tried to act stupid, then I was like, here's the receipts. And then that's when his whole cadence changed. No, it's because, well, baby, it's good. It's okay. Right? Get into it. And then by the final message for me, I was like, yo, he didn't acknowledge it. There was no I'm sorry, no nothing. And by the final message, I used his girl's name. And I said, I believe that Shorty she deserves to know that the person that she chose is choosing her back. And I deserve somebody who's not going to treat me like I'm second rate. I'm so much more than that. If you want to feel like, yeah, that dude, by all means, but it ain't going to be with me. That's it. And he texted me back, and I just left it like that. I was all set. He, whatever, watched my story a couple times, did what he did. I was like, it was so heavy on me that like I was emotional because I was like, I can finally let this go. I can breathe now. It was tough. I was like, dag, yo, like I really had like real deep feelings for you. And then him to say like, oh, I wanted to be friends. It was just frustrating because like I didn't know how to be your friend. And I was like, okay, when were you gonna let me in on the conversation where you wanted to be friends?
Right.
When? Because baby, I would have operated in that space.
Right.
But no, I don't talk to my friends about, especially my guy friends. We're not talking about what we doing with who we doing it with. Like, that's just not what we do. Like, I don't talk to my friends like that. And because I've already been with you, there's a different way I have to operate now. I can be friends with you, but this past that we have, we're not talking about.
Right.
We're not, because it's just not gonna happen. Like, that's just not what we're doing. Whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like and that's why I was like, you don't know how to be a friend. Period. Because I don't treat my friends like this. I don't come and go when I please. Like,
sometimes during the talking stage, that like being a friend line gets confusing, and sometimes people make decisions and they don't communicate, and then they get mad when the other person's not understanding. It's like, you made that decision with your conscience. You didn't make that decision with me.
So the F-boys are F-boying this summer.
As we should.
Cut them off. You're annoying. Cut them off. Baby girl, you're so much better than that. And somebody will treat you like the queen that you are. You feel me? What else? Dang, this is going to be a long El Chisme because like life happened in 2 months. We just catching up. That's really what we're doing with y'all today. We're catching up, and then we're going to jump into a topic that's going to like go into whatever. I'm on the worship team. The worship team is cute. It's a good time. It's a learning experience for me. I have to really humble myself in the space, because music or just singing in general is just something that I gave up on at 17. Like I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I just sing for fun. Now it's just
and now there's that discipline.
Now there's a discipline that has to happen, and like learning 3-part harmonies and stuff like that, and yeah, without saying too much. I'm sure in as the season goes on, I'll say more. But it's been a very humbling experience. I realize that I walk in with a lot of humility and just like willing to learn because I don't know. I'm singing with people that are trained, and I'm not. I'm a trained shower singer, and car karaoke is my jam. You feel me? So it's about like understanding. For me right now, the best way that I can treat it is like I'm in a game because I'm an athlete. So if I'm being coached by someone and they're giving me feedback, I can't be upset at the feedback. Because when I was playing ball, whatever, I wasn't mad at my coach. I was, but I wasn't going like snap back at them because I'm like, they know more than I do now, so I have to learn from them. So that's and because I'm not playing the sport anymore, I have to treat this like I'm in a game, because that's the terminology that I have that I can use in order to remain humble, to learn and not let my ego get in the way and be like, yo, why are you talking to me like that? Like, that's crazy. Don't. But at the same time, it's like, no, there is a way that this has to go, and I have to learn that way. So that's where we at. But like, also learn throughout like the summer, like people's leadership styles suck.
Yeah, well, it is. Something that my mom told me back in June was like, when you spend a lot of time alone and you're able to understand yourself, and you also spend a lot of time sitting back observing other people, it is hard for you to fall under the leadership of other people, because you understand what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So when somebody comes and tries to tell you, this is the way we should do it, and you're just like, this is not going to work, because you spend so much time alone that you can understand and you can see it differently. And that changed my life. Like, that was like, we were having a conversation and she was like, you have to remember, like, you are always alone, Ruben. I'm the type of person that, like, I get up and go. I don't check in. I'm going, baby. Yeah. So it's like when I'm met with, I'm on a trip or I'm hanging out with friends and I'm like, I'm going to step out. Like, I'm not good at that, because I'm just like, I know that I'm going to be good. I got to get up and go. And I don't have time to wait, and patience is what I've been like trying to learn. It's like understanding patience behind other people. And when I'm with other people, unfortunately, there are some people who are a little bit more delayed, and there are some people who just see the world so differently, and just being okay with, all right, if this is how you want to do it, then I guess we'll do it like this. Do I think we can do it better? Always. But if this is how you want to handle it, we'll handle it like this. And I can't get frustrated over it, because I can't control you as much as I would love to. Let's wrap this up and head over to our next section, which is
Ay bendito.
All right, y'all. So welcome back to Ay Bendito, this part of the show where we let you know where we kind of give you guys our opinions on latest headlines and gossip and all that good shit that you guys like to tune into. Let's start off with Netflix has this new docuseries, Ladies First, A Story of Women in Hip Hop. Can I just say, I recommend anyone who is a hip hop fan, happy birthday to hip hop, 50 years.
Yes.
Anybody
it's just, they're so young. Hip hop is so young.
I know, it's so fresh still. And it's still evolving, and it is so important to our culture. Like, a lot of people don't understand how hip hop ties into a lot. You know what I mean? So I think you guys know how I feel about female rap. I am not one stan for one person. I love them all.
You love it so much.
And this goes into a deep dive of all of that. I got a few people that DM me because I reposted it, and they were like, but they don't mention Nicki Minaj.
Shut up.
Watch it.
Shut up.
Because Nicki Minaj is not the only female rapper. Let's relax. There was some before Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? So definitely tune into that. It's already on Netflix. I started watching it. It's really cool. Speaking of hip hop and speaking of culture, this is from the New York Times. DJ Casper, whose hit song "The Cha Cha Slide" made you dance dies at 58. He actually died this past week.
August 7th?
August 8th. He's the one that invented the cha-cha slide. Everybody who is anyone, you know what I mean? The cha-cha slide brings me back to our family parties when we were younger. I remember that was one of my first experiences ever dancing in life. Yeah, with Titi Carmen, and like your mom was there. Like all of us were just
be in the mix.
Yeah, like I would see these ladies dance, and I was just like, I want to do this. Like, and I remember my grandmother like being like, "Oh my God, he's getting it!" Like seeing her face, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's getting it!" And I'm like, yeah, like I love this. The electric slide, the cha-cha.
Oh, the electric slide is my ish.
So when he, that song has a lot of remnants for me, and I think I want to send a big rest in peace to him, and nothing but peaceful and a happy transitional period for his family. So, yeah. Moving on, I do want to kind of give a little bit of some Lawrence news, because I feel like sometimes I lack on that, but I'm getting better with it. So, developer to turn Massachusetts mill into affordable housing. So this is pretty cool depending on what your lines of affordability are. But this, I don't know where this mill is. It's going to be called the Van Brody Mill. No, it is called the Van Brody Mill, and it's going to be called Trinity Financial. And it's going to have 102 units. I think it's around Arlington Street, and my phone is frozen. I've been dealing with that all summer.
That's cute.
But it's around Arlington Street. They're building a new mill, affordable housing. So
why I wanted Broadway.
What I wanted to mention was, if you can look this up, I wish I would have found you the link, but if you can look this up, try to see if there's a lottery for those of you guys who are trying to get apartments, because what they'll do is they'll put you in the lottery, and once you get chosen, you'll have the same rent for the history of your time there. It will never go up, and it will never go down. It would be the same. So if you move in, and it's usually cheaper because they want to fill them in right away, so that's why they do these lotteries. So they'll probably charge you like $500 less than what their asking rate is, which is going to be good. So start getting into that.
Yeah. In other news, so there was, we love this so much, a law passed in Tennessee that is called maternity fraud. And what that essentially means is that if you become pregnant before the father signs the birth certificate, he is to get a paternity test. Because there are a lot of women who, when we celebrate our sexuality and our freedom to, engage in sexual activity, some of us become impregnated, and we don't know who the father is. So in the state of Tennessee, it is now being passed and put into law that before the father signs the birth certificate, they are to have a paternity test. And this is because the amount of people who have been coming forward and taking paternity tests, the children that they have already been raising end up not being theirs. So now they're trying to mitigate that before it gets into 18 years later. What do you mean I'm not the father? This is my kid. And it equals jail time for women.
Is this happening that frequently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently. Yeah, so Tennessee, while I don't agree with much that they do down south, I actually kind of agree with this.
I do too.
I kind of agree with this. Because that can ruin a man's life. Like thinking, because you gotta think about it. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, but if you raise that kid for X amount of years, that's your kid. There's still a difference. There's still a difference in thinking.
I'm trying not to get canceled this season.
And there's still a difference. Like, you're raising this kid thinking that's your blood. And then you find out it's not your blood. And then you start to look a little different. Then there's going to be resentment towards the parent.
18 years. He found out on his birthday that those kids ain't his.
Right.
Something like that. Paraphrasing.
You feel me? Got you for 18. And on his 18th birthday, you find out it wasn't his. What? That's crazy. But yeah, I actually do agree with this. And then like there are people that are like, but if you know without a shadow of a doubt that that's your baby father, then why would they take a paternity test? And it's like, so then take the test. If you know without a shadow of a doubt, this is who this person is, then just take the test.
A paternity test is such, like, it's not an invasive procedure. it's not ruining anything. Like, if you don't have nothing to hide.
Y'all doing all this ancestry, 23andMe, X, Y, and Z, sending all this stuff out. You can't. A quick little cotton
And that's it. That's my child, period.
And then if it's not, release them from the shackles of child support. So you. But yeah, I agreed with that one. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I like that. Okay. All right, we had a short Ay Bendito for y'all. Let's close this section out and head over to our next section, which is
Caldero Talk.
All right, mi gente, welcome to Caldero Talk, which is the part of the show where we are going to give you the topic, the meat
the carne
of what we are talking about, the bulk of the show. A lot of the reason why y'all tune in, but we gave you a lot in El Chisme, so we're, if you made it this far, hey. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about imposter syndrome, and essentially, when thinking about what I wanted to talk about this season, I wanted to talk about something that was relevant to like myself, and I think a lot of people, given like the rise of social media, and like I know we've been on a rise of social media for forever, but I feel like there is so much going on in this world right now, and like what people are doing to remain relevant. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Lil Tay, that they faked a publicity
nobody cares, girl.
Yeah, I was like, what? But in the light of that, there are some claims that said that they did it because someone said, one claim was like,
to try to revive their career.
To try to revive their little 5 minutes of fame. And then another claim was like, oh, their account got hacked. Whatever, what have you. However, it still sparked like a...
Listen, the account hacking claims that these celebrities have is the same way I feel about the way y'all demand these apologies for them. And every apology is the same. I don't care for the celebrity apologies. I don't care for the account hackings. You said what you said. You did what you did. Stand up on it and own it. Period.
So imposter syndrome is the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally despite being high-performing and external.
Is Ruben reading this?
Right. Oh my God. Reading is fundamental. In objective ways. I'm going to do that one more time. Imposter syndrome is the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally despite being high-performing in external objective ways. So basically feeling like a fraud. And for me, it started to come up because I'm in this new space within church, and I'm looking around and I'm like, dang, like my praise isn't like that, or I can't quote scripture yet. And it started to make me feel inadequate, and I was like, yo, I don't like this feeling. And I know I'm not the only person. I know that when it comes to being in new territory, it's easy to feel like you don't belong. Especially with me trying to like battle that I have social anxiety, that I suffer from social anxiety. I'm trying to fix my verbiage around that I suffer from it. But then it's like I get around people I enjoy, and then I'm like this like fun person, and I'm like, why can't that just be me all the time? Like why do I feel like I have to shrink myself to be in these spaces that I don't feel like I'm supposed to be in? And then I started to look at it in other areas as well, because now it's like people know me from TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and it's like, oh, but you're like really quiet in person. I'm socially selective. You don't get that from me all the time. But it brought up like, yo, like I wonder how many people in media feel that way. Because it's like sometimes you think about it and you're like, oh, but you're like on the camera, so you can't, there's no way that you feel this way. And it's like, I'm trying to get people to understand, like me and my camera, it's just me. And all I have to do is hit submit. In life, that's not...
Somebody's talking back to you.
Yeah, someone has to talk back to you. Like small talk, gagging. Why are we talking? Why are you talking to me? Like I'm not understanding. I don't know what to talk about. You can ask me questions all you want, but I'm not typically one to start a conversation because that's just not where my comfort lies. But if you talk, I speak when spoken to, and I feel like my upbringing plays a huge role in why this is difficult for me now, because again, it was to be seen and not heard as a kid. Speak when spoken to. And now
That
it's
is true. That is true.
You feel me? And now it's like, okay, people are looking for me to say this thing, and then it was hard for me getting into the church because I didn't realize how many people knew me from TikTok at this church, and it threw me off because I was like, yo, what? And now it's like there's almost like an expectation of like this personality. Granted, it is my personality, but when I'm comfortable in certain spaces, I have to read the room before you get this level or this energy from me. That's just how I've always operated. I operate in a very careful manner wherever I'm at. Not everybody who says hi to you means to say hi to you. You just happen to be there. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean by that is like, just because someone is speaking to you doesn't mean they actually want to talk to you. Like, I've met people, and that goes for the church too. Like, there are people that are still operating in the spirit of pride and ego, and probably feel like you shouldn't get what you're getting because they've been there longer, or they should be doing this, that, and a third, or, oh, but I'm like this, or I know this person, and it's like, who is this girl? So it's like, that also played a part in me being like, ooh, am I supposed to be here? Like, what? This is weird. But you've been in the entertainment industry for quite a long time. Like, how does that play a part for you? How does that play a role?
I think even in my personal life, I deal with imposter syndrome. I recently posted something like, a lot of people expect me to be all lively and energy when they've only met me when I was drunk. And it's like, you only know me at the time when everyone around me is happy. All of us are under an influence, and we are all just like, love life, it's amazing. Waking up the next day, I know my life is not, well, my life is amazing, but I know that I'm not in that mindset of like, let me walk around and just be all hype. And, I think that confuses a lot of people, and I get labeled with like, resting bitch face and all these things. And it's not that, it's just that like, I'm always in here. In here, I'm operating of like when I went to an album release party the other day, and I felt imposter syndrome because I was like, I'm like, I feel like people are expecting me to walk in and be like this lively person, right?
The party
and
shows up.
Not that anybody, I'm not saying anybody there was expecting that. This is me in my mind.
Yeah.
And I was with my friends, and I feel like my friends, sometimes do rely on me because I know they battle with social anxiety. So I'm like, I'm more of the type that is like, even if I'm a little sober, I'm just like I'm outside, I'm in public.
Do you suffer from social anxiety? Or just...
It depends on the rooms. I suffer from anxiety, but social anxiety depends on the room. I'm really good with masking it.
Yes. So this is what happens to me.
Yeah.
I suffer from social anxiety, but in those situations, it's sink or swim. Baby, I'm Michael Phelps. I'm a swim. I'm gonna get from one end to the other, and then you're not gonna have a single clue that I'm battling something on the inside. Well, when I get home though, I completely fall apart. Like, I am like, yo, my social battery is tapped out. This ain't it. I need to retreat. I need to be in the dark. Like, I need to recharge.
I felt like that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've noticed recently that like when it's time to go out, I find myself in this place of like, I have to get drunk. I mean, I've worked on it because I haven't had like anybody driving for me. I haven't been driving. I've been having people drive for me, and just like giving myself the space to feel free to drink in a healthy amount, but understanding that it's not my responsibility that you have a good time. You know what I mean? And it's like, I can have a good time with or without you. You need to be able to do the same.
And it's tough though, because it to go into imposter syndrome, it's like sometimes I find myself in these spaces where I'm like, dang, do I have to play it up for everybody around me to like, hey, match my energy? Because like, if everybody's energy is low, what did I come out for? Because dime, I can have low vibrational energy in my house and be at peace. Like, what?
And I get that. I feel like sometimes when everyone's like, oh, I know, but come. But
then it's annoying because then you get the constant,
like, how you,
are you okay? You good? Like,
how you were saying earlier, like when we were in PR and when Nina said no, I was just like, all right, cool. Like, it's not gonna take away from my experience.
You feel me?
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go do what I want to do right now. And I feel like a lot of people don't operate in that space. They're like, they require you to be there in order for them to know that they're going to have a good time. And that's something that you need to work within yourself. I feel like with dance, a lot of the time I do feel like that. I feel like I'm not good enough, even though I know my capabilities and I know what I've trained and what I've learned. I feel when I walk in a room full of dancers, I'm not worthy of being here. And I have to always do these self check-ins with myself and be like I'll go to the bathroom and just look in I do this a lot. I'll go to the bathroom.
Girl, you got this.
Yeah, and I go in the mirror and I'm like, you deserve to be here. Don't sit there and sulk. Don't sit there in any of this. We'll talk about the rest tomorrow. But today, baby, you are here. Yeah. You were brought to this room for a reason. Just, remind yourself or stay observant to what's going on. Yeah. And lately, what I've been catching myself and telling myself is like, all right, don't do too much. Sometimes because of your anxiety, sometimes because of, your depression or whatever, or to be an avoidant person, you'll do the most so that people are attracted to you for the things that you want them to be attracted to. But sometimes you just have to be real. Yeah. And lately I've been telling myself, like, don't do too much. That album release, like, I don't go out in Lawrence, you know what I mean? And it's like, to go out, I was already dealing with this pressure immensely inside of me all day, dreading it. But I wanted to show up because I'm trying to show up in spaces and just being a cool person and supportive people. There are people out here that I support and I've had to check in with myself, like, I should be there. I should be there for their good times, right? Like, if I want that in return, I should be able to do that for people, and instead of being a brat about it and be like, well, you never show up for me. Let me show up for you. Let me show up for you a few times. Let me have that, drop that ego real quick and just show up for you. But I was battling a lot because I'm like, I'm going to walk into this room and I know that I'm going to know a handful of people and the interaction might not be what I'm expecting. But I had to remind myself, well, we're not going to hide in the alcohol. We're not going to hide in a corner. We literally got a seat in the middle, of the room, so everyone can see me. We reserved the table, and it just so happened to be in the middle. It makes a difference. And I told myself, I'm like, this is a sign, you needed to be seen. And I saw people. Did everyone run up and say hi and this? No, it was the same old stuff that I've experienced before. But I went up to people and I said hi because I'm like, who the fuck are you?
That's humility right there. That's operating in humility right there.
And what is more important to me is that when people speak on my name, they remember yo, Ruben never has an issue coming up and showing love. And I don't have an issue because I expect the same in return. You know what I mean? So I went up to people, I'm like, hi, wait from people from across. Even though they were looking at me I'm like, how are you? I have no problem, baby. I'm here. Let's acknowledge each other. Let's let that shit go. That mentality is so ugh. But having to deal with being in that room and being a podcaster who interviews upcoming artists and sitting there and being like, this is me in my head. I hope nobody comes and asks me for my opinion. But in reality, I'm like, I had to remind myself, I'm like, you have a valid opinion though. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I've shared with the artists, this is what I think works. This is what I think didn't work. Da-da-da-da. And I always try to have some constructive criticism. Right. Why? Because when somebody asks you for their opinion, they want to hear something more than, that was good. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Because everyone in the room is going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, okay, there was a few songs in there that, this and that and da-da-da. But this, now that, and with this, and, and it's been working, so.
Yeah. This is just my life right now. I'm operating in church right now. This is where I can keep coming back to. My pastor a couple weeks ago preached the word on humility and operating in that, and I was struggling with what he was saying because I was like, I don't like the word humility. And I was like, okay, Nina, why don't you like the word humility? And I was like, because it's only a couple letters short of the word humiliation. And I think that for me, when I'm operating in pride, it stops me from being humble for fear of humiliation. So I can't operate in humility because I have a fear of humiliation. And I think in these spaces, and I'm trying to put myself in these spaces because I know that I have to get in community. I know that, you know, when I decided to, you know, walk with God and especially get baptized, that there were certain things that couldn't come with me in this journey, and a lot of things that I have to shed. And this is why it's been a battle for me, because it's easy for me to be like, no, I don't want to go to that. No, I'm not going to go, because it brings me anxiety. It makes me anxious being in social settings. And I never want to be that person that knows one person and then I follow them around like a puppy dog. Like I will sit, I've become comfortable with being able to sit by myself if I have to, and let people come to me. And it's not in like a, like, you know, who are you? Like that is, it's just not similar to what we said, like, yo, who are you? And I'm now getting comfortable with, if I see someone like walking up to me like, hey, how are you? But in this space right now, I can almost feel, no, not almost, I can feel how some people are around me. And I hate that it's happening where it's happening. I wasn't raised in church. I didn't leave church. I was never church hurt. That's not my experience. I'm not about to sit here and make a testimony sound more elaborate than it needs to be. That's not my testimony. I just, in the past, was like, I don't want to get up and go. That's just what that was. I don't want to get up at 7 o'clock on a Sunday. I want to sleep in. And when I was of age to make that decision, I stopped going to church. And so now that I'm at my age now, I'm making the conscious decision an effort to be here. And there are certain rooms, this is crazy. I said one day on stage, I was in worship, people were praying, and I said to God, prepare yourself though, before you say this prayer. I said, God, let my name be mentioned in rooms I have not yet walked into. That week, I get a DM, and I was fasting from social media. Something said, yo, check your message requests. So I go on, and I see I have a message from somebody from church. I was like, hey, we just had our creative meeting. Your name got brought up. We were wondering if you can help us do this thing. What? Sure. When? Tomorrow, noon. What? Like, this ain't even 24 hours. Like, what? Ain't no way. So I ended up doing it. I went. And, you know, unfortunately, it wasn't well received by certain members. I don't know who this person is, but it was brought to my attention that someone had saw that I was a part of this said media within the church, and they were upset because they were like, who is this girl? Who is Nina? Like, she's only been here for a little bit amount of time. I've been here for forever, and how is she getting on to these things? Girl, if you would have just asked me, I would have told you. And I'll tell you the prayer that I said. God, please allow for my name to be mentioned in rooms that I have not walked into yet, to afford me opportunities. You feel me? Like, and just that, like, the person that told me, we were just in conversation, and they didn't tell me who it was, which I'm grateful for, because they don't know that I operate in.
But sometimes you don't need to know who it is. You just need to hear the message.
Right, and then it gave me confirmation that, like, you're where you're supposed to be. You're doing what you're supposed to do. God orchestrated this. Can't anybody argue with that. No one can argue with that. Me being in the worship team, that was God orchestrated. I didn't audition. Mi gente, I did not audition, and I said this in the past. I didn't audition. Someone reached out to me and said, hey, would you be willing to do this thing? I later find out that somebody from the church had sent a video of me singing to this person, and this person reached out to me. I never expressed interest in worship. I've been on the worship team since April now. And now is when the battle is starting to happen, because I'm like, am I supposed to be up here? Dang, I'm not holding my note. Damn, they gonna kick me out. I'm struggling staying in a 3-part harmony. You know, maybe this isn't for me. Am I taking the opportunity away from somebody else? And it's been tough. Like, I have a couple friends that I've made in the church, but like, I don't want to feel gossipy. I don't want to feel like I'm starting drama. So like, I haven't really said much because I'm like, I want to vent, but where is the line? Where is it now? And then I had to draw the line for myself. I was like, no, you can vent, but once you start attacking somebody's character, now you gossiping. Now you talking that ish. Like, you need to just state the facts. This happened. This made me feel this way. How are we gonna get there's layers to it. Once you get into like, nah, that's why your breast stank and that's why this and that, you're doing too much. But with that, like, this is the most I've ever felt imposter syndrome in my life, is in the church right now. And I know people are gonna say like, oh, you're being attacked. Like, you're being attacked. Like, spiritually, you're being attacked, and this is why you feel that way. And I think that I was looking for more community that's like, nah, we gonna pray over you. This is what's gonna happen, because you can't feel this way. You can't feel, God put you here. We can't. This can't be how you feel. And it sucks that a lot of these feelings are happening and taking place where I want to feel safe. And then I realized it actually was an awakening for me, because I was like, this is why people leave. This is why people leave and turn away from the church. Oh, nah. Some gotta be done, because what? Yo. And then it's like, there's a culture of people that are church hurt. And then if like you're in the church and you know that there is a culture of people being church hurt, how are you not doing your damnedest to make sure that that is not somebody's testimony when they are in this place? Check your ego. Check your pride. Operate in that humility. You're gonna lose a lot of good people. I ain't going nowhere, because baby, I got thick skin. I was built for this. I got thick skin.
What do you think you can do to kind of conquer that imposter syndrome?
I need to be in the rooms more. I need to start
feel more comfortable in the spaces and stuff. I feel like a lot of people operate in that, and I know that for me, like when I'm in a new space, I'm just like that. I used to be the type to observe. Now I'm just like, I always just keep telling myself, just be yourself. Just be yourself, because like people, for some reason, gravitate towards it. People like it. I'm here with it. I'm cool with it. And I just, always remind myself, no expectations. I'm just here to be in the room. Like, I'm here to chill.
Yeah, listen, I was called to be here. So.
Yeah, so it's like,
I don't know how you got here, but I know how I got here. I couldn't you.
Ooh.
I don't know why I have my alarms on. It's Sunday. But yeah, so, I mean, I would be doing a disservice in where I'm at right now in my life if I didn't speak on where I'm at in my life. Like, I could have talked about a moment from my early 20s when I felt the way that I felt. And, it took me, I had to think about what I wanted to talk about today. And once Ruben was like, I liked imposter syndrome. And I my butthole got a little tight. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, am I ready to talk about why I felt like that? Because I understand that with this new journey came new followers, came new people from the church. And I was like, am I really about to speak my truth? And these people know the spaces that I operate in and what I'm talking about. And I almost didn't even want to bring it up. I was like, oh, that's the topic, bro. I gave you a list. That's the one you chose. Dang, why did I should have removed it.
I mean, I just feel like that. I feel like I'm in a space in my life where I'm like, I'm entering my last year at this job with the dancing, and I was going through that recently. I was like watching the videos, and I'm like, why do you doubt yourself so much when look at what you've been able to produce? And I was sitting with some friends, and they were like praising me, and I was just like, wow, I never looked at it like that. They're like, yo, you came back and you took some kids
and put them on the map, baby.
That just, were like, I like to dance. Yeah, and I was like,
to this. That is your gifting.
And it was dealing with that. Like, I've always just operated in that imposter space of like, I don't think I'm good enough for this. I don't think I'm good enough. And, I've been working on conquering that of just being like, no, fuck that. I deserve. Yeah. I deserve. Why? Because I work. Mm-hmm. I work. I do what I need to do. I'm disciplined with what I need to do it and how I need to do it. Yeah. But there is space to grow, and there's space to learn, and there's space to be
authentically you.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? I think the best way to overcome imposter syndrome is to point it out. I say it all the time. Once you can name it, you can tame it. And when I was baptized, if you guys saw the video on my Instagram, pastor had prophesied over me, and he said, like, God's pleased with you. God has called you, has given you a grace to influence. And there have been times where people have told you, you know, be quiet, don't say that. Why you gotta say this? Why you gotta say that? Why you gotta talk? Why are you talking so much? And that was a battle, because like I've had people come up to me in public that was like, hey, when you said this or when you said that, like, and I would always say like, oh yeah, like I'm in my everyday life. Don't talk to me about my podcast. Don't talk to me about my social media. This is my life. Like, what I said there, enjoy it there. This is where I operate. And it's like, no, you open the floodgates. You're supposed to do this thing. I think I told you guys, I definitely talked about it. I was supposed to start a podcast with 2 other people before Ruben got to me. I bought the equipment in good faith. I was like, all right, I bought the laptop. I bought this microphone 3 years ago. And was the one that was like, all right, let's get it started. Let's talk about that. Nobody knew what to talk about. And then it was me carrying it. And then I was like, all right, clearly there's something here I'm supposed to do, but I don't think it's with y'all. The growth isn't going to happen with y'all. And looking back, I was upset because I really wanted it to work with these other people. I was never going to grow the way that I grew when I got with Ruben. And now I can see it and be like, that would have ended very quickly and nothing would have come of that, and you would not have been a better person. I probably would have become more bitter post that. But since this, I've become a better person. And now I feel like because I'm in a whole new headspace, and you know, Ruben is as well, like we're just not the same people we were when we started. I say this all the time, and it's like, yo, if you're new here, please go back and listen, because this podcast in itself is a testimony. You hear all the hurt, all of everything that we've been through, and then you hear it now, and we're like, yeah, no, it was kind of messed up. You know, I definitely played a part in that. You know,
I was going through stuff.
You know, so it's tough. And you know, after my pastor had said that, like it really clicked for me. Like, this is why you do what you do. So embrace it, because you've been called to it. Now I have to handle it more carefully than I was. I already started to. End of season 5, definitely season 6. Season 7 is definitely like, this is the new space you operate in. Let's not go backwards. We can reminisce, we can tee about it, but let's not let it bring you back, you know, to where the message gets lost in the shuffle because of it. But imposter syndrome is a real thing. I urge you to call it out, and if this is the first time you're hearing about it, you're welcome. We try to be educational here sometimes. We might fumble a little bit through the wording, but it's okay. We get there. It only took us 2 hours.
We are not professionals, y'all.
You know what I mean?
Just professional podcasters.
So with that being said, I really hope that you are able to look internally. As we have demonstrated here, we are constantly doing the work offline. And then when we get online, you can see it. We can talk about it. We can shed some light on it. So if you are in a new season of wherever you're at right now, and you feel like you don't belong, understand that you were put there for a reason. You were afforded that opportunity because there is something that's supposed to come from that thing that you have been placed in. And do not let the naysayers stop you from whatever it is that you've been called to do, whether it's in entertainment, whether it's in the music realm, the dance realm,
even at work,
in media, even at work. There's so much around right now. We've talked about this in the past, where it's like, oh, be an entrepreneur. There are some people that are okay with taking direction and being worker bees. Hi, I'm one of them. I do not know what to do with unstructured time. I need it to be structured in order for me to be successful. And if you have not heard it yet today, mi gente, I'm gonna tell you right now, you are okay in the job that you have if that is what is bringing you your joy. Do not let social media tell you that you're miserable if that's not how you woke up feeling. Matter of fact, unfollow that account that told you and put you in that headspace. If you woke up with gratitude, if you woke up with grace, if you woke up with understanding that you were here to do something and you were going to execute a task when you get to work that day, execute that task and do not let anybody deter you or distract you from reaching that goal at the end of the day. If you can leave your job and understand that you put forth the energy you need to put forth, you made somebody smile, you made somebody laugh just by your presence, just by walking into a room. If you were able to do that thing and you can go home that night and sit back and say, I had a successful day, Do not let social media tell you that because you slept for 8 hours tonight, you're not successful. Successful people sleep.
That's true.
You need to rest in order to show up for yourself and other people. You can't operate on an empty cup. Pour into people, but also make sure you're being poured into. If you can sit there and say that the people that you're with are pouring into you and you're pouring into them, that's beautiful. If your job is pouring into you and you're pouring into them, that's beautiful. Do not let social media trick you into thinking you have to quit your 9 to 5 to be successful and make millions of dollars if that is not what you have been called to do. Now, if you have been called to do that,
get your ass up and work.
Get your ass up and work. One.
Nobody wants to work these days.
And two, girl. And two. And two. Make sure that you are surrounded with a community of people that has your back when you try to venture out, when you want to venture out. People that will pour into you during this venture you're about to take. Do not let social media distract you from what you're doing right now. Because at the end of the day, we still need doctors, we still need lawyers, we still need electricians, we need plumbers.
We can't all be baddies.
But you can be bad in what you do, okay? You can be the best at what you do with what... I'm going to do the best with what I got, you know what me? Don't let social media distract you into thinking that you have to quit and do all these things and start this thing. However, also do not let the fact that there are X amount of people doing this thing stop you from doing that same thing.
Absolutely. Walk in the room and know that what you're offering in a room full of duplicates is an original.
And on that note, let's take it on over to
the last section, which is
A Reposar. All right, mi gente, welcome to Reposar, which is the part of the show where we are going to just relax. I know we gave you a lot. This is a long episode back. We typically don't go longer than this, but there was just so much to catch you guys up on, and we were just so excited to be back for season 7. And if you're a new listener, hey, what's up? Welcome to the party. Your favorite primo and prima are here to carry you through this thing that we call life, baby.
Yes, honey.
So we gonna laugh and fumble our way through it, but at the end, we gonna be laughing for sure. But yeah, so this is just the part of the show where we are going to give you any quotes, any announcements, affirmations.
I do want to give
a lot to digest, so we're just gonna.
I want to give a shout out to a few people who have hit me up through Instagram or Threads, asking when we're coming back, asking what's the status of the show.
We quit.
We back, y'all.
It felt like that for a little bit.
Thank you for checking in. It did make me feel like what we're doing is worth it, and it just it made me light up the fire a little bit and be like, so we got to get back in the studio. But my quote is mine's. Watch how picky you get after you start healing, and I feel like that right there like sums up the season of my life that I'm in right now, of just like, I don't like that no more. I don't want to do that no more. And it's like, I've just realized a lot about myself, and I'm just now in the space of like, you need to start doing shit that makes you happy, baby boy, because esta vida, it only comes once. And time is ticking. Time is ticking, baby.
Yeah, no, definitely huge shout out to all the people that have reached out. Like, yo, when is it coming back? I'm like, yo, we on hiatus. We tired.
We get tired.
This comes out of our pockets. You feel me? Like, and sometimes the pockets hurt a little bit, so we kind of take a break.
The pockets hurting right now?
Yeah, but by the grace of God, for our savings.
We were allowed in the building.
Yeah.
I don't know about tomorrow, so we're going to get this edited and posted.
As far as a quote, I don't have a quote. I just how I ended up, got a little talk. Understand that you are where you're supposed to be right now, whether it's at the top of the mountain or we're in the valley. At some point, we're going to get to the mountain. But while you're in the valley, enjoy. It's hard to say enjoy it, but you're going to look back and say, oh, dag, I did that. I got through that.
Right.
However you get through it, you're going to get through it. I feel led to say that. So whether whether you're in the valley or you're in the mountain, on the mountaintop, at some point, the journey's going to keep going. You just got to keep looking forward and put one foot in front of the other.
All right, y'all. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you made it to this part of the video. And if you are listening to us on all DSPs, make sure you guys leave a comment and rate. It helps out the show. It helps us push the show a little bit more out there.
Digital streaming platforms? Ooh, I'd be smart or whatever.
But on that note, my name is Rosales and I'm blasting off.
And I'm Nina Montañez. Stay blessed, mi gente.
Oh.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Sofrito Speaks.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Sofrito Speaks to keep up with all of our latest content.